picture this with me for just a moment. You've finally made it through security, you're holding your boarding pass, and you shuffle down that narrow airplane aisle. You find your seat, tuck your bag under the chair in front of you, and sit down with a sigh of relief. The plane fills up, people are settling in, and then, you notice something. A few passengers around you seem to know exactly what to ask for. They're getting little extras, extra attention, a smoother ride, and you're sitting there wondering, why didn't anyone ever tell me about this? Now, let me ask you, have you ever felt like you were missing out on some sort of secret? Like there was a hidden rulebook for flying that nobody bothered to hand you? What if I told you there actually is, and that seniors like you are often entitled to special perks on planes, but most people never ask for them? See, here's the truth, for older travelers, comfort and safety aren't just nice-to-haves. They can be the difference between enjoying a trip and feeling worn out for days afterward. And what makes it even more frustrating is that airlines already provide these resources. They're built into the system. The problem is, hardly anyone tells you they're there. And that's why I'm so glad you're here with me right now. Because in this video, we're going to open up that secret handbook together. I'm going to share with you 10 free things you can ask for on planes, no gimmicks, no hidden costs. Just real, practical tips that can make your flight safer, easier, and a whole lot more comfortable. And let me warn you, some of these might surprise you. Once you know them, you may never look at flying the same way again. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever been on a flight where you wished you'd asked for more help, maybe with your seat, your luggage, or even just a glass of water? If that's ever been you, do me a favor. Type yes in the comments below. Because I want to see how many of us have had that same experience, and I promise you, you're not alone. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button to join us here at Elderly Wisdom Guide, where every video is designed to help you live healthier, stronger, and more peaceful in your later years. And listen carefully here, because this part matters. Missing out on these little-known perks isn't just about comfort. For seniors, it can actually affect your health and independence. Sitting too long without moving, going without enough water, or straining to lift a heavy bag, those things add up. They take a toll on your body. That's why, after this video, I'm going to remind you to check out the 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence challenge in the description. It's already helping seniors everywhere walk with more ease, travel with less worry, and live with a whole new sense of strength. So buckle in, get comfortable, and let's uncover the secrets most passengers don't know. But that can completely change your travel experience. Let's start with the very first secret, and this one alone could make your entire trip feel less stressful. Extra assistance with boarding and seating. Imagine this. The gate agent calls your group to board, and suddenly everyone stands up at once. The line snakes around, people are juggling bags, and it feels like a race just to get down the aisle before overhead bins fill up. Now picture something different. Instead of being in that stressful crowd, you stroll on calmly, before the rush, with plenty of time to find your seat. No one rushing you from behind. No fear of someone bumping into you as you make your way down that narrow aisle. Just space, calm, and a moment to settle in. What many seniors don't realize is that airlines already offer this. It's called pre-boarding. And it's not just for families with children or passengers in wheelchairs. Seniors can request it too, but here's the catch, you have to ask. Most airlines won't automatically announce it for older passengers, because they don't want to single anyone out. But if you walk up to the gate agent and simply say, "I'd like to request pre-boarding," they'll note it down, and when it's time, you'll be called to board before the crowd. Now, here's a common mistake I've seen time and time again. Many older travelers assume that because they're not using a wheelchair, they don't qualify. That's simply not true. Pre-boarding exists to help anyone who needs a little extra time and space to get settled. And let's be honest, rushing down an airplane aisle with heavy bags and impatient passengers pressing behind you is not safe for anyone, let alone someone who values their balance and mobility. So here's my advice, don't hesitate. The next time you fly, go to the gate early, smile, and politely ask for pre-boarding. You'll thank yourself the moment you're sitting comfortably in your seat while everyone else is still scrambling. But comfort doesn't stop at boarding. Once you've made it onto the plane, where you actually sit can change everything. Which brings me to the second secret, getting a more comfortable seat without paying extra. Now, think about this for a moment. Have you ever been wedged into a cramped middle seat for hours, your knees stiff, your back aching, and your legs begging to stretch? For seniors, that's not just uncomfortable, it can actually affect circulation, cause swelling in your feet, and make you feel miserable when you land. But here's the thing, airlines often have empty seats in better spots, and you can move into them for free, if you know how to ask. The best seats for comfort are usually the aisle seats, which give you room to stretch your legs and make restroom trips easier, or the bulkhead seats at the front, which often have extra space. Many people assume that changing seats always comes with a fee, but the truth is, if those seats aren't sold, a polite request can go a long way. Here's where tone matters. If you ask kindly and respectfully, maybe saying something like, "Would it be possible to switch to an aisle seat if one's available? It would make the flight much easier for me." More often than not, the flight attendants will do their best to help. They want you to be safe and comfortable. And remember, it doesn't hurt to ask. The worst they can say is no. But the best? A seat that gives you comfort for the entire flight without spending an extra penny. Once you're finally in your seat, there's one hidden perk that can completely change how you feel when you land, and it's one that almost no one takes advantage of. Free extra water or juice. Here's the thing. Airplanes are incredibly dry. The recycled air in the cabin has less humidity than the Sahara Desert. I'm not exaggerating. Your body loses moisture faster in the air than it does on the ground. Now, for younger travelers, that might just mean a bit of dry skin or a parched throat. But for seniors, dehydration can sneak up quickly. It can cause dizziness, fatigue, muscle cramps, and even confusion if it gets severe. You may not even realize it's happening until you step off the plane and wonder why you feel so drained. But here's the good news, you don't have to settle for just one tiny cup of water during the drink service. A lot of people think that what's handed out in that one round is all you get. That's simply not true. Flight attendants are there to help, and you can ask for more water or juice anytime during the flight. Whether it's an extra cup right after they finish service, or later when you feel thirsty again, they'll happily bring it to you. And yes, it's completely free. Now, many seniors hesitate because they don't want to feel like they're bothering the crew. But let me assure you, they'd rather bring you a second glass of water than see you feeling weak or lightheaded mid-flight. And trust me, they know how dangerous dehydration can be for older travelers. So the next time you fly, don't hold back. Ask for an extra cup, or even better, request a full bottle of water if they have one available. That way you can sip slowly throughout the flight, keeping your body hydrated and your energy steady. But hydration isn't the only way to stay comfortable in the air. There's another little secret that can make hours on a plane feel so much gentler on your body, and it has nothing to do with what you drink. Let's talk about blankets and pillows. Now tell me if this sounds familiar. You're cruising at 35,000 feet, and suddenly you feel a chill creeping through the cabin. Your hands feel cold, your shoulders tense, and your knees stiffen as the temperature drops. For a younger traveler, it's just an annoyance. But for seniors, cold air can stiffen joints, trigger arthritis pain, and make a long flight feel almost unbearable. What most people don't realize is that airlines keep extra blankets and pillows on board, not just for long-haul flights, but often even for shorter ones. They don't always announce it, and they don't hand them out to every passenger automatically. But if you ask, there's a good chance they'll bring you one. It's one of those unspoken perks that sits quietly in the overhead bins until someone has the courage to request it. Here's the misconception. Many passengers assume these comforts are reserved only for first-class or overnight journeys. That's simply not the case. While availability can vary, there are usually spares tucked away in the cabin. And when a senior politely asks for one, flight attendants are often more than happy to oblige. My advice? Don't wait until you're shivering mid-flight. Ask shortly after takeoff, while supplies are still available. A warm blanket can ease stiffness, protect your circulation, and help you rest more comfortably. A small pillow behind your lower back can also relieve pressure and reduce aches, turning an otherwise tiring journey into something much more bearable. Here's another little secret that might surprise you. Hot towels or sanitizing wipes. Think about how it feels after you've been sitting on a plane for a few hours. Your hands feel dry, your face feels sticky, and somehow the recycled air just makes you feel less fresh. Now imagine a warm towel gently pressed into your palms. The steam relaxes your skin, cleans away the invisible germs from airport handrails, and suddenly, you feel refreshed and human again. It's a small gesture, but it makes a world of difference on a long journey. Most people believe this kind of care is reserved only for those flying in first class, the ones with champagne glasses and extra legroom. But here's the truth. Many airlines carry extra hot towels or sanitizing wipes, and if you ask, they'll often provide them to seniors discreetly. Not every airline does it automatically, and not every passenger knows it's an option. But those who ask are often pleasantly surprised. The misconception here is powerful. Seniors sometimes assume they're not allowed to request something that feels like a luxury. But let me tell you, this is not about luxury. This is about dignity, cleanliness, and health. Clean hands mean fewer germs. A refreshed face means you feel awake and more comfortable. And for older travelers, staying clean during a crowded flight is more than comfort, it's protection. So here's my advice: next time you're settling into your seat, quietly ask a flight attendant if they have a hot towel or sanitizing wipe available. Sometimes they'll bring it right to you without a second thought. It's a simple request, but one that can brighten your entire flight. Now, for those of you who worry about the more physical parts of travel, there's another free service that's just as important, and it can prevent unnecessary injury. Let's talk about help with carry-on luggage. Picture this. You're lifting your bag into the overhead bin, and suddenly your shoulder twinges, or your balance wobbles. For a split second, that bag feels heavier than it should, and you wonder, why did I even try that? It's a scenario so many seniors face, but too many keep quiet about. Here's the truth: flight attendants are trained to help you with your carry-on. It's part of their job, and they would rather lift that bag for you than see you hurt yourself. Yet, out of pride or a desire not to bother anyone, many seniors don't ask. And that's where trouble begins. A strained shoulder, a pulled muscle, or worse, a fall. All of that can be avoided with one simple request. The common misconception is that you should always manage your own bag because everyone else is busy. But that's not how it works. Flight attendants are there for your safety first, not just to serve drinks. And if you let them know you'd like assistance, they'll step in quickly and without judgment. So please, don't risk your health for the sake of independence in that moment. Independence is precious, but protecting it means knowing when to accept help. The next time you fly, stand by your seat, smile at the crew, and simply say, "Could you help me place this bag overhead?" You'll be amazed at how willing they are to step in. Let's talk about something many seniors quietly struggle with on flights but rarely speak about: getting to the restroom. On a long flight, when the cabin is dim, the aisles are narrow, and turbulence makes the plane shift beneath your feet, just walking those few steps to the restroom can feel daunting. You grip the seats as you go, hoping not to stumble, worried that a sudden jolt could throw you off balance. It's not just inconvenient, it can be frightening. But here's what most people don't realize: the cabin crew is trained to help you. If you let them know you need extra support, they will discreetly walk with you, steadying you if needed, or even clear the aisle so you can make your way safely. Sometimes, all it takes is a quiet word before the flight gets busy, would you mind giving me a little assistance if I need to get to the restroom later? That one request ensures they'll be looking out for you the whole way. The misconception here is powerful. Many seniors think, if I ask for help, they'll see me as weak, or they'll be too busy to care. But let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. Flight attendants would rather take 2 minutes to guide you safely than risk you falling, injuring yourself, or feeling embarrassed. Your safety is their priority, and they'll do everything in their power to protect it. So please, never hesitate to ask. Your dignity and your safety matter more than pride in that moment. And when you know you're cared for, the entire journey feels lighter. But let's move on to something just as important: comfort during mealtime. Now, imagine this. The food cart rolls down the aisle, and the standard tray is placed in front of you. But when you lift the lid, you realize the meal isn't something you can eat. Maybe it's too tough to chew, maybe it's overly salty, or maybe it's something your doctor advised you to avoid. You sit there hungry, watching others eat, and you wonder, do I really have to go without? Here's the truth, you don't. Seniors can request special snacks or dietary considerations, even if they didn't pre-order a special meal before the flight. Airlines often carry soft bread rolls, crackers, fruit cups, yogurt, or low-sodium options tucked away for passengers who ask. And many times, they'll even have extra juice or lighter snacks that are easier on the stomach. The misconception is that once the meal is served, your only option is what's on the tray. But that isn't true. Flight attendants know not every passenger has the same needs, and they usually have a few alternatives in the galley. All it takes is asking politely. So, if you find yourself staring at food you can't manage, lean in gently and say, would it be possible to have something softer or lighter instead? More often than not, they'll find something that works for you. And instead of going hungry, you'll feel nourished and cared for. Boredom, it can make a 3-hour flight feel like 6. You settle into your seat, the hum of the engine surrounds you, and suddenly the minutes crawl. You've read the in-flight magazine front to back, the announcements have ended, and now you're left staring at the seat in front of you, wishing there were something, anything, to make the time pass more pleasantly. Here's the hidden truth: many airlines keep a stash of small comforts just for moments like this. Headphones for the onboard movies or music, a fresh newspaper, or even a simple puzzle booklet can be available, if you ask. These little extras are often complimentary, though most seniors assume they must be purchased. And here's where the misconception lies. Too many passengers, especially older adults, think entertainment perks are reserved only for first-class travelers or those who pay extra. But in reality, airlines know that a content passenger is a comfortable passenger. If they have a spare set of headphones, they'll often hand them over with a smile. If there's a leftover magazine or a newspaper tucked away, they'd rather see you enjoy it than let it go unused. The advice here is simple but powerful: don't hesitate to ask. A quiet word with a flight attendant can turn hours of staring at the seat back into a few enjoyable chapters of reading, a crossword puzzle that challenges your mind, or even a movie that carries you halfway across the sky before you know it. And when your mind is engaged, the journey feels lighter, quicker, and far less draining. But finally, let's talk about one of the most overlooked, yet deeply important, comforts available to seniors during flights. Imagine this. You're seated, the cabin lights dim, and time drifts on. You begin to feel uneasy, not quite unwell, but not entirely steady either. You wonder, should I say something? Should I press the call button? Or would that bother the crew? So you sit quietly, hoping the feeling passes. But here's something many don't realize: flight attendants are trained to provide not only service, but care. They can perform small wellness checks, offer water, remind you to stretch your legs, or even check in periodically to ensure you're comfortable, but only if they know you'd like that kind of attention. This is where the misconception becomes dangerous. Too often, seniors hesitate to ask for help, thinking, I don't want to be a burden. They're busy enough. But in truth, letting the crew know at the very beginning of the flight, even with a quiet sentence like, "I'd appreciate it if someone could check in on me once in a while," changes everything. Suddenly, you're not left alone with discomfort or uncertainty. Instead, you're cared for, seen, and supported throughout the journey. And this isn't about indulgence. It's about safety, dignity, and health. Something as simple as a gentle reminder to drink water, a quick wellness check, or even noticing if you've been sitting too long can prevent fatigue, dizziness, or even a fall after landing. These small moments of human connection can make all the difference in how you feel, not just during the flight, but long after you arrive. Now, here's the bigger picture. Missing out on these small comforts during flights isn't just about convenience. It's about protecting your health, from circulation issues, to fatigue, to falls after long hours of sitting stiff. And that's exactly why I created the 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence Challenge. Just 10 minutes a day builds your strength, balance, and energy, the exact skills you need not just in daily life, but even while traveling. Don't wait until discomfort or an injury forces you to act. Click the link in the description and start today. Travel should be joyful, not a test of endurance. For seniors, every trip is more than just a journey from one place to another. It's a chance to create memories, to see loved ones, to enjoy the simple beauty of the world. No one, absolutely no one, should sit in silence, suffering in discomfort, when help is available right at their fingertips. This is where perspective must shift. Too often, aging is framed as weakness, as if needing support is somehow shameful. But the truth is the opposite. This isn't about being needy. It's about being proactive, being informed, and recognizing the care you deserve. Asking for help doesn't make you a burden. It makes you wise. It makes you safer. It makes your journey smoother and more enjoyable. So the next time you fly, don't hesitate. Don't second-guess yourself. Ask for what you deserve: comfort, care, and dignity. Because travel isn't just about the destination, it's about how you feel along the way. And remember, you don't have to face the struggles of aging unprepared. The 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence Challenge is there for you, linked right below this video. Just a few minutes each day build strength, steadiness, and energy, the very things that make these travel experiences, and everyday life, easier and more fulfilling. Small wins, one day at a time, will add up to a body and mind ready for anything. Now, let's bring this all together. Today, we uncovered 10 free things seniors can ask for on planes, from extra water and better seating, to help with carry-ons, to those discreet wellness checks that bring peace of mind. Each of these small acts can completely transform your travel experience. But I want to hear from you. Which of these surprised you the most? Have you ever asked for something free on a flight, and actually received it? Your answer could be the encouragement another senior traveler needs. Share your story in the comments, because your voice matters here. And if this video gave you even one tip that made you feel more confident, don't forget to like and subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. Every day, I share practical insights to help you live healthier, travel smarter, and embrace the independence you deserve in your later years. But let me leave you with this: please, don't just watch this and move on. Every week that passes without action, your body loses a little more strength, balance, and resilience. Don't wait for an injury or a difficult moment to force you into change. Start building it back now. Click the link in the description, join the 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence Challenge, and give yourself the freedom to enjoy life, whether that's in your home, walking your neighborhood, or taking your next big adventure in the sky. Thank you so much for watching. Stay strong, stay confident, and always remember this: the sky isn't the limit when you know your worth. I'll see you in the next video.